Going on. The next gentleman I met the very first day when I came aboard as before becoming a docent. The museum hadn't even opened as a museum yet. They were just bringing people aboard, and so lo and behold, I found this person up there in his LSO uniforms. First time I ever met him, became a good friend of mine, Commander Dwight Lubich, a Bay Area native from San Francisco. He attended San Jose State College, a graduate degree in aircraft maintenance and engineering. He received his wings in 1961. He accumulated 256 carrier landings, and as I stated, he was also a landing signal officer. After his service time, he flew for the United Airlines. He retired as a captain for United Airlines, and he is one of our original docents on board here since 1998. Commander Dwight Lubich.
Thank you, Dale. Is that loud enough? Do I have to swallow this thing? Okay, I'll do better. Growing up in San Francisco during World War II years, there was a lot of activity going on. Air raids, blackouts, and lots of airplanes over ships. And I liked it all, except the Army Air Corps didn't have aircraft carriers. And that's probably why they borrow the Navy's CD-8 Hornet to launch the Doolittle raid. So I went Navy, and after college and Pensacola training, I reported to VS-22 at Quonset Point, Rhode Island, flying the S-2 tracker. I haven't flown that airplane. I checked my logbook, but unfortunately I can't say that I've flown that airplane. Now, ASW, anti-submarine warfare, the definition of which is to deny the enemy the effective use of the submarines. I'm not going to go into anything about ASW because if you would take time to go down on the second deck and visit an exhibit entitled ASW, it will explain it all. The mission, the history, the search and attack tactics. And this will be shown on a slide at the end of this presentation. Cuba, 1962. This was our war because at ASW, there's not much excitement going on other than tracking Soviet submarines around the oceans. You remember President Kennedy stared down that little Russian guy by the name of, what was his name anyway? His last name was something like Crankshaft. Oh, Khrushchev. So the vessels were going to be taken out, and that's when we got involved. So our air group went down there along with other units, and this is the way we did it. The helicopter squadrons flew mostly daytime because they didn't have a searchlight on their airplane. They would fly up alongside the ship, photograph, and we could see what the missiles looked like and how many there were. The S-2 tracker, if you look over there to the S-2, on the right wing that's folded overhead, there's a blank spot between the rubber de-icer boots, and that's where a 70 million candle power searchlight was once located. So radar would bring us in. I'd fly down to the water about 50 feet, which was very precarious, because you had to really trust your radio altimeter. The co-pilot operated the searchlight. So we fly up the stern, illuminate, and get the name of the ship, its hull port, course and speed. Some of the writing on the ships was in Russian, so that made it more difficult to copy. Then I would pull the airplane up the port side and gain some altitude, and then bank to the right where the co-pilot could arc off the searchlight and rake the deck and see what was on the deck. And we had a photopod under the right wing, which allowed us to take pictures. These are all brought back to the ship, evaluated, and I assume they got all the missiles out of there. Now, this is a true story. It's a confession. It's the only confession I'll make today. If you fly long enough, you run the chance of landing at the wrong airport or the right airport on the wrong runway or on the wrong aircraft carrier. 1963, Steel Pike 1, large amphibious assault group assembled off the Carolinas coast to take four carriers over to the coast of Spain to conduct a mock assault with Marine helicopters and Marines. Now, the four carriers, two were Essex class, just like mine, Lake Champlain, which was still a straight deck carrier as Hornet was at one time. One of the three helicopter carriers was USS Boxer, an Essex class carrier, again, straight deck, just like mine. But they had removed all the arresting gear equipment, all the cables, all the catapults to make living space for Marine troops. So, typically being junior, I fly in the back of the clock. That's a term we use in airline aviation. Back of the clock means somewhere past midnight. 2 o'clock launch, 6 o'clock recovery in the morning. Now, this is all before GPS. So we navigated using a World War II type navigation board with a grease pencil. And your navigation is only as good as the wind you put into your solution. So after 4 hours of riding around looking for submarines, the sun comes up and right ahead is an Essex class carrier. And I said to my co-pilot, "That's great navigating, you did a great job. Now, we're supposed to have the first airplane at the ramp at 0600. And we were told you don't need to join up, have a pretty formation to fly around the ship before you break up. Just get the first airplane on the ramp at 0600. So, I get myself in position in the landing configuration. My first clue was, though, where are the other airplanes? And I roll in the groove, and I look up the deck, and there's no cross-deck wires. And then I look up on the bow, and I'm looking for a number 39, like Champlain, and I see a number 4. This is the wrong airport. So I flew back, finally found the Lake Champlain, and guess what? I was the only airplane in the pattern because everybody else had already landed. So I got aboard, told my co-pilot to go down to the debriefing, and I'm not coming to the debriefing. And I said, they'll ask where I am. Just tell them I'm sick. So they might go look for me in sick bay right down here. But I went to my bunk, climbed under the sheets, under the blanket, pulled it over my head, and waited. Nobody ever said a thing. Thank you so much for coming.